Hello, my name is Brianna Newton, and this is my presentation for Organic Chemistry 2 Lab on hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide with the chemical structure H2O2 is a simple molecule with powerful oxidizing properties. Introducing hydrogen peroxide, it is a simple molecule with powerful and versatile nature. Known for its strong oxidizing properties, H2O2, also known as hydrogen peroxide, is a staple in medicine, industry, and our own biology. Throughout this presentation, I'll explain the unique characteristics of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide has the chemical formula H2O2, which is different than water, which is H2O. Hydrogen peroxide has one more oxygen than water does. This is a non-polar bond. The two oxygen atoms are connected by a single weak peroxide bond with hydrogen atoms attached. This weak oxygen bond is the source of its instability and high reactivity. Hydrogen peroxide appears, as seen in this picture, as colorless and slightly viscous, which means it can be sticky and kind of more like a thick solution once it's in its purest form. The boiling point of hydrogen peroxide is 150.2 degrees Celsius and 302.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Hydrogen peroxide can mix with water, unlike oils. And on to the next slide. Chemical properties and reactions. Hydrogen peroxide is a strong oxidizing agent, which means it accepts electrons from another substance, causing that substance to be oxidized. In this role, hydrogen peroxide is reduced, normally by breaking down its water, which is H2O. And this oxidizing power is what makes it an effective disinfectant, as it can break down the cell's membranes of microorganisms. And that's why you can use it on wounds to take away bacteria and disinfect. For our next slide, for many years, decades even, the sources of hydrogen peroxide were unknown. They knew it was in the body, but it was a mystery of where it came from and how it's produced. Bovers, Oshino, and Chance in 1972 were the first to direct evidence of its production in cellular organisms, such as the mitochondria. They demonstrated that the mitochondria, which is the cell powerhouse, is continually producing hydrogen peroxide as its byproduct of their normal metabolic activity, partially from the electron transport chain. Peroxisomers, which are tiny membranes-bound compartments inside the cells that break down fatty acids and neutralize harmful toxins like hydrogen peroxide. So all of this research from these three men paved the way for future research, which we'll discuss in future slides. Biological activity. It's more than just a toxin. People used to think that hydrogen peroxide used to be super harmful. Then Halliwell, Clement, and Long challenged their views, finding that hydrogen peroxide is a lot more complex than what they thought. It is actually poor reactivity. It's not highly reactive on its own because it's dangerous when it interacts with transitional metals like iron. But on its own, it's not. It's very poor reactivity and not harmful. Widespread presence. Authors suggest that hydrogen peroxide is in urine and it can act as an antibacterial agent, helping prevent urinary tract infections, and it implies that the body not only produces it but also uses it as a natural defense. So, 2 benefits. On to our next slide. Winterbourne says that hydrogen peroxide helps cells talk to each other. The body controls where and how much of it is made so it can send signals safely. It helps with things like fighting germs, cell growth, and handling stress. On to our next slide. The body keeps hydrogen peroxide under control using special enzymes. Too much of it can harm a cell, but enzymes like catalysts break it down into water and oxygen because it has 2 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. This balance is called redox homeostasis. It helps cells stay healthy and lets hydrogen peroxide send signals without causing any damage. Hydrogen peroxide is useful in many areas. In the environment, it helps clean water, removes pollution because it breaks down into water and oxygen. In industries, it's useful to bleach paper and fabric safely instead of using chlorine, which can be harmful. It's also helpful in medicine. It can kill germs. It is used in disinfectants and to clean small wounds. From a Christian worldview, studying hydrogen peroxide shows that the careful design in God's creation, its balanced structure and purpose reflects order and intention from a divine creator. The fact that it can both harm and help life reminds us of the Christian idea that the world is broken but still redeemed, showing God's plan in the mix of good and bad in creation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned some about hydrogen peroxide.